You are viewing the V-Series control board calibration video. This procedure assumes that power is applied to the actuator, along with a control signal that can be increased and decreased as needed throughout the process. Optional wiring for the output feedback signal is connected. For the purpose of this video, 4 mA equals the full clockwise position, and 20 mA equals the full counterclockwise position. As with all modulating applications, the end-of-travel limit switch cams will not trip in normal operation, and therefore should be set just outside of the 90-degree travel window. You will need a 1/16" Allen wrench or driver for limit switch cam and camshaft gear adjustment. As depicted, the cover of the actuator has already been removed. Begin by selecting input control signal type, milliamps or voltage. The actuator will accept 4 to 20 milliamps or 0 to 10 volts DC. The actuator will also accept a split range signal, such as 4 to 12 milliamps, 12 to 20 milliamps, or a 2 to 10 volt DC signal. Next, select output feedback signal type, milliamps or voltage. The actuator will provide a 4 to 20 milliamps or 0 to 10 volt DC retransmit signal. Select signal fail position. Selecting 0 will drive the actuator to the minimum signal position upon loss of control signal. If last is selected, the actuator will remain in place upon loss of signal. If using 0 volts DC as the minimum signal, the actuator cannot differentiate between a commanded minimum signal and a loss of signal. Therefore, 0 should be selected. Calibrate the feedback potentiometer. Turn the yellow mode selector knob to Cal. Hold the enter button for 2 seconds until the Cal light begins to flash. Using the clockwise push button, drive the actuator to the full clockwise position as viewed from the top of the actuator. If the light is no longer flashing at the full clockwise position, the potentiometer requires no further calibration. Proceed to the next step. With the Cal LED flashing, loosen the set screw in the camshaft gear, the large nylon gear, and slowly turn the gear until the Cal LED remains on constantly. The LED will flash faster as you approach the calibration window and slower as you move away. Tighten the set screw and touch and release the enter button to save the setting. Calibrate the 0 position. Turn the yellow mode selector knob to 0. Hold the enter button for 2 seconds until the 0 LED begins to flash. Apply the minimum input control signal, such as 4 milliamps or 0 volts. Then, drive clockwise or counterclockwise, using the respective push buttons, to the desired minimum signal position. If the stall LED begins to flash, check to see if the limit switch cam is preventing the actuator from reaching the desired end of travel. The capacitor mounting screw can be loosened and the capacitor moved out of the way to gain access to the cams. If the switch is tripping, loosen the set screw and back the cam off. Continue to drive to the desired end of travel, then set the switch so that it trips just beyond the desired position. Touch and release the enter button to save the 0 setting. Calibrate the span position. Turn the yellow mode selector knob to span. Hold the enter button for 2 seconds until the span LED begins to flash. Apply the maximum input control signal, such as 20 milliamps. Then drive clockwise or counterclockwise, using the respective push button, to the desired maximum signal position. Again, if the stall LED flashes, check to see if the switch is tripping before the desired end of travel. If so, loosen the set screw, drive to the end of travel, and move the cam so it will trip the switch beyond the desired position. Replace the capacitor if necessary. Touch and release the enter button to save the span setting. Finally, turn the yellow mode selector knob to run. Put the system into automatic and verify operation. If satisfactory operation is achieved, replace cover. Refer to your installation, maintenance, and operating manual, or contact the factory if you have any further questions.